Do you know what day it is? It's my favorite day. It's the day I read r/Today I effed up. Read by me, Red. Let's get going. Today I effed up by looking like I was trying to lure neighborhood kids. I live in a very average suburban neighborhood. Kids playing in the streets, neighbors are friendly, you get the idea. I recently bought a beat up old pickup truck. I have a daily driver, but this truck is for Home Depot runs and the like. Personally, I love it, but I've been made aware of the effect it has on people. This will become relevant soon. A few weeks ago, a tree went down at my neighbor's house right around the corner from my house. The tree company came and cut it into logs. It's been sitting on the neighbor's front lawn ever since. I have a fireplace, so I've had my eye on the wood. I figured if they're not using it, I can swing by and load it in my truck to chop up. The thing is, I've never met these neighbors. I don't know their names and I've never seen them outside, so I've just sort of been waiting until I happen to see somebody out front to ask about the logs. Fast forward to today, I'm driving by in my beat up old truck and I see a couple of kids coming out of the house. 2 boys, probably 10, 12 years old. Great, I figure I'll pull over and ask if their parents are home to inquire about the wood. So I pull up on the curb. The thing is, I didn't see them until I was almost to their house, so I guess I pulled up kind of fast. Well, they must have been freaked out by my crappy pickup or my speedy maneuver or whatever, because they effing bolted the second they saw me. So now I'm in a predicament because I don't want our neighbors to see me speed up and then the kids run away like I'm some kind of weirdo. So I roll down the window and say, "Hey, are your parents home? I need to ask them a question." They hear me, I think, but keep running. So now I'm sitting in my crappy truck waiting to see how this plays out, when it occurs to me that I probably now look really creepy because I'm pulling over fast, kids are running and I'm yelling at them. So I decide the best move is to sit outside the house for a second to think. I figure it's best to go knock on the door and see if mum and dad are home. So I do. Push the Ring doorbell. I also make sure my face is on camera so I don't seem like some creep. The thing is, nobody answers. I shrug and go home, which is literally 4 houses away, and forget the whole thing. Fast forward 3 hours later, I'm cleaning up after my dinner and my wife says, "Hey, there's a cop car outside by your truck." Oh no. Before I make it to the door, he knocks. Yep, you guessed it. Neighbor called to report an attempting luring of her children. Apparently they told her that a man pulled up in an old truck and said that he has a parrot and asked if they wanted to see it. What I really said was, "Are your parents home?" Police officer and I had a good laugh. He went over and explained it. Neighbor feels better. Turns out I can have the logs too. Those kids did the right thing running away, let's be honest. You just never know. But that's hilarious. What a way to meet your neighbors. Okay, here's our next story. Today I effed up by not realizing my car was picking up my Bluetooth. Today we ran out to pick up large furniture. The only way it fit in our vehicle was to flatten the back of my spouse's SUV. But we have kids under 10 and no sitter, so we take 2 cars. We get it all loaded up. I'm driving the SUV with the furniture and my spouse is driving our other vehicle, my usual car with the kids. I got about 30 minutes of kid-free time, so I put on some celebrity podcast. The dude happens to be discussing a movie where he had to do a prolonged sex scene and it ended up being 8 hours of making out, breast fondling, and butt grabbing, along with pretending to go down on his female counterpart. My spouse's car is old, so I'm just listening through my phone speaker when it cuts out. I get annoyed thinking my data plan had killed the app and try and figure it out. But it's still going. I stop and start, it starts playing again, no problem. A few minutes later, it cuts out again. A minute or 2 later, I get it started and it cuts out after 3 minutes. But the light turned green, so I couldn't look at it and give up. A moment later, my phone starts ringing and it dawns on me. It's cutting out every time I'm behind my spouse at a red light. My spouse is calling, "Please stop, just please stop. It's all butt and titties up here. All talking about panties and eating out and grabbing things. How the F do you change this to the damn radio?" Every time I got too close, my car's Bluetooth would pick up my phone and start playing the podcast. Now my spouse is figuring out my dash settings and my kids are asking to eat out for dinner. God, I love that one. That's great. Okay, here is the next one. Today I effed up by making my boyfriend laugh during a romantic bath together. I hadn't seen my boyfriend in a month because of quarantining. I stayed away until it was safe to come around again and thought, let's do something special. That special thing was a bath together in his giant tub. We get in, I throw some Epsom salt in there and get a little bubbles going, and we both get in our respective comfy spots. I'm trying to enjoy the quiet, peaceful moment as I feel the stress melt slowly out of me, and he's being a disturber of the peace, goofing around. I'm slightly irritated by this after a long week and just want a few minutes of quiet. Then suddenly he says, "Oh no." The way he says it gets my attention and I ask what. He says it's nothing but starts laughing. I tell him if he farts in this bathtub, I will drown him. About 40% of our relationship is laughing at farts and similar humor. So this makes him laugh more. He's telling me not to make him laugh, and I'm further arguing my point of imminent effing doom if I see a single bubble. I've abandoned peace at this point and given in to his shenanigans, just going along with the humor of it, but also disgusted. I had faith in this stupid man's sphincter and his ability as an adult to hold it. This was my F-up. We're both laughing. I'm still a little annoyed at the ruined moment of peace, so I tell him to just get out of the tub and go and fart in the next room. I forget what I said, but as he was raising out of the water, I said something funny. Now, picture a grown, naked man trying to get out of a bathtub. I'm in the fetal position, sitting down, trying to give him space to maneuver, so I'm in ground zero, when suddenly, I guess he laughed too hard. The first offense was like a startled duck, and the fact one slipped out only made him laugh harder, so it was a series of laugh farts that sounded like ducks getting trampled on. This wasn't even a small normal fart. This was a torrent of undiagnosed IBS, refusal to accept lactose intolerance, and poor life choices. I was in shock at this point. I get out of the bathtub with haste and we're both crying laughing. He's still in the tub holding onto the curtain, absolutely losing it, and I'm trying to gather my things as fast as possible to run to the other end of the house like a freshly bathed cat. But bathed in fart. I was pissed, but I couldn't stop laughing, and that's when I smelled it. You know how if you fart in the shower, the steam makes it smell worse? Yes. And I couldn't hold my breath because I was laughing so hard. So each time I inhaled, I was attacked by steam in the bag fart. I started gagging, and I know I need to leave before I vomit. So I run just in a towel across the house, hoping no one's decided to come home early. He apologized and we occasionally giggle about it. But other than that, I have no idea how to end this story. Oh my god. That's amazing. I love r/today I effed up stories. Especially when they're read by Red. That's me, I'm Red, yeah. If you liked them too, please give this video a like. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much. Have a good day. Don't F up.